When you do a gloom, doom, and now possible boom podcast, you really wouldn't think there'd be any good news, but in a twisted sort of way, there actually is. It's a target-rich environment. You never lack subject matter on what to do your podcast about. So like I said in a twisted and perverted way, it's good news. It is also Saturday the 23rd of April, 2022. Alright, the big report, the big mission yesterday. What an insignificant event. You couldn't get close enough. There was one service road to the south side of the south gate. Limited maintenance, and they weren't lying there. Couldn't get down far enough. So you got to thinking, hey, you know what? A guy sure could use a drone right now. Yeah, a drone with a camera. Because I was thinking, I know somebody with a drone and a camera. And you want to talk about coincidence, people? I was having a tall, cool Chris Budweiser. He drinks Bud Light. With her daddy yesterday. Yeah, Morgan, you out there somewhere? Are you listening, Morgan? I tried to talk to your daddy and says, hey, come on, go twist your daughter's arm. But he says she's a big girl. He's not going to interfere. Didn't think it was a dumb idea, but it was totally up to you. So, Morgan, I might have to give you a shout. All right. But I was able, since I was so close to Minot, go down there and get lunch for everyone. Picked up 4 sandwiches for the family and my kid over there at the bottom, Peter Pitt. Jimmy John's, yep, number 10 Hunter Special with extra onions, pickles, and sliced hot cherry peppers. Excellent. And I decided, well, since I'm here, I could go backtrack, or I could go down Highway 2, so I drove by my old job site. You know the place, the Charlie Foxtrot, where they brutally kicked my ass to the curb. No notice, no warning. That's it, you're out. Yeah, that's the place. And I noticed, there's only about 4 or 5 cars out front. I noticed the main door to their big-ass scale was closed. And I didn't see a lot of action going on in the yard. And I seemed to see the same number of containers that were there 2 months ago. And no train. There was nobody loading, nothing, nowhere, no how. I wonder if BNSF says, we're done with this shit. Anyhow, they could have listened to me, but they didn't. All right, people. Cause and effect. You know what I'm talking about? If you take your bare hand and stick it in a fire, you're probably going to get burned. Cause and effect. If A, then B. Yes. So if there's a creator, and I said if, people, I'm not forcing my beliefs on you, then a creator has rules. Kind of an owner's manual comes with us. You know what I'm saying? Kind of called the Bible. Yep. If you have a creator, you're going to have consequences when you break those rules. Now, a lot of people, a lot of 501c3 Christians, give them a lot of lip service. Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, we pay lip service every Sunday to the creator. But you know what, people, in actuality, aren't most guilty of? Flipping them off, giving them the middle finger, the bird. Yeah, that's what I think. Actions speak much louder than words. Lip service versus the finger. Now, back when I was a kid, let's say about 65, well, it put me about 10 years old, it wasn't supper time without Walter Cronkite on CBS Evening News. Yep, he was out there. Daily body counts from the Big NAM, the Vietnam War, and there was other oddities on the news, but nothing, and I mean nothing, like you see on today's TV news. And I'm not even talking about fake news. I'm talking about the issues covered. I'm going to let Tucker Carlson set this up for us, people. And you'll see where I'm going with it. Do not judge me too quickly. Do not say, oh, you fell for distraction, Big D, because I don't think I did. Here we go. Today's news.
Also, tonight we told you earlier in the week about how the left is very mad, in fact, trying to shut down a site called Libs of TikTok. Why are they so mad at Libs of TikTok? Well, here's one of the reasons. Over the past half year or so, video after video has appeared on social media showing school teachers bragging enthusiastically about how they push their personal sexual politics, often weird and gruesome sexual politics, on the small children they're supposed to be teaching. Now, the students in question are not teenagers. They're kindergartners, first graders, kids who have no perspective on life and no power to fight back. So many parents saw these videos, in some cases on Libs of TikTok, and they were shocked. They had no idea that anything like this was happening in the classroom. Having some purple-haired loser in a nose ring convince your 6-year-old to get a sex change is not why most people send their children to school. So they
Boy, you can't argue that.
complained. The parents did. And across the country, Republican office holders responded by promising to do something about this. They made outraged noises, but then in very short order, they moved on to talking about Ukraine, which is what they really care about, not you. In the end, only one state really did anything about this. That would be the state of Florida, under Ron DeSantis. Several weeks ago, the Florida legislature passed a law banning teachers from bragging about their own sex lives to small children. Now, news reporters went crazy. They described this legislation as the Don't Say Gay bill. But as always, that was a lie. This bill didn't even mention the word gay. Nothing to do with gays. Florida voters seem to know that intuitively. Even most Democrats in Florida supported this law. The polling firm Public Opinion Strategies found out why they do. Quote, fully 2/3 of voters believe it is inappropriate for teachers or school personnel to discuss gender identity with children in kindergarten through 3rd grade. Well, of course it is. Everyone thinks that. So if there was ever a law that accurately reflected public opinion, which should matter in a democracy, this was the law. But across the country, in the state of California, Bob Iger was watching, and Bob Iger didn't like it. Bob Iger is the 71-year-old former head of Disney. He's a
Bob Iger is also a distant relative of Murray. It's almost over, people.
bundler for Hillary Clinton. He's got some free time and strong political views, so he promptly tweeted the Florida law was immoral somehow. In an interview later with CNN, with Chris Wallace, Iger explained that preventing teachers from promoting gender reassignment surgery to kindergartners was, quote, harmful to children. Iger never explained how this was harmful.
Nor could Tucker Carlson ever tell you why. Iger never explained it. However, if you were on Gab, you'd know. And I'll go this much further. If you only read the Jerusalem Post or Haaretz, two of the nation of Israel's largest newspapers, you'd know. But Tucker can't tell you. Okay, so that is interesting. Now, is that a distraction? Is that a diversion of our attention from more critical issues? Come on, Dave, we have bigger fish to fry. More critical issues we all soon will face. Catch that, people will. Well, I'll tell you what, maybe. But I lean towards it's a diagnostic tool. What's wrong with this country? Well, let's look at issues like this. What's on the news? This is a sick country, people. You got to get out of denial. You know, I've often heard that a veterinarian is a much better doctor than a doctor of medicine. And you know, over the last 2 years, I've really lost a lot of respect for our medical corps. But not that they have any better skill sets. They have to diagnose their patients. Yeah, when you walk in to see a doctor, you kind of tell them where it hurts, where the problem is, what the symptoms are, what you're experiencing. When you bring Bowser into the veterinarian, or you bring in your pet cat, or you bring in your cow, or pig, or sheep, the vet's got to do a lot of diagnosing of his own. Obvious, right? Because the animal isn't going to help him out a bit. He will not tell them what the problem is. So, I want to compare that to kind of what I do on the wall. Yes, I sound the alarm. Yes, people, I'm looking out here, and I'm telling you, they're in front of us, they're behind us, they're to the left of us, they're to the right of us. Technically, we have them surrounded, and they're not going to get away from us. But I think maybe they got us surrounded, and it isn't getting any better. So a good watchman, and I happen to think, well, I'm too humble to tell you that I happen to think I'm a good watchman, will try and diagnose the situation. Because the more details I give you, everyone below the wall, the better decisions and actions you can take and make. Sounds fair, does it not? Tell you what, though. Still have some free time when you're on the wall, as fast and furious as things are happening, and you get to thinking. You got to try and figure out this insanity, this madness that's encroaching the wall. And I keep hearing from down below the wall, I keep hearing some Lee Greenwood tunes. God bless the USA. Yeah, I hear that quite often. I hear terms like American exceptionalism. Oh yeah, I hear that. And boy, do I ever hear Trump 2024. And just wait until midterms, elections in November. Wouldn't want to be a Democrat. Wouldn't want to be a rhino Republican in name only. People, trust the plan. The white hats are coming in November. Talk about putting lipstick on a pig. Will there even be a midterm election? Will we even be around in November? Gloom, doom, and possible boom, people. I don't know. But I do know this. There are no physical solutions to spiritual problems. I've told you this time and time again. And my diagnosis of my country, oh yeah, America, it isn't good. And the prognosis, that's even worse. So let's back up a little bit. If then, if there's a creator, there's consequences. Now, I've read this one before, just 2 verses of scripture for you people. It won't kill you. Just a reminder, Luke chapter 21, verse 25 and 26. There will be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, and on the earth distress of nations. Let's say Russia and Ukraine are pretty distressed. Yeah, but so is Yemen. Yeah, but so are Central America or Central African nations. With perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men fainting from fear and expectation of what is coming on the inhabited earth. For the powers of heaven will be shaken. All right, people. Now we can all disagree on what really constitutes a good time. But I hope we can agree that these 2 verses are not describing any way, shape, or form a good time. For what is coming, I'm seeing a few clues out there. The Bible provides a lot more. Let me sum it up for you. If you think it's bad now, we ain't seen nothing yet. People, I got stuff to do. Cause and effect. It's all about, can't defy the laws of physics.